college. I also am certified as a K-12 school library media specialist, in addition to being an English instructor. So I think I have a lot of experience and a wide perspective about books and censorship and how libraries function in general. So today I just wanted to talk about my own experience. I'm a huge fan of our library. I have been since I moved here in 2004, and libraries have always been my safe place, and this library is no different. I love our library staff. I love coming here. I love sending my kids here. This is a great place. I have been uncomfortable in the past, several years ago, with the large number of what are labeled as sunshine books, because those books don't interest me. And there were several years where that seemed to be the main focus of collection development and purchasing. If you don't know what sunshine books are, they typically have Christian themes. There's a lot of Amish romance, which seems like an oxymoron to me. I do not care about Amish romance. That's not interesting. And so during those years, when that seemed to be the focus of the collection management and building, I had to look elsewhere for books, because that was before I became a parent. I was just looking for books that I was interested in and enjoyed. And it was frustrating, because the collection was not well balanced at that time. That's not a criticism of the director at that time or anything like that. It's just the collection was not as balanced or well managed as it could have been. And I am noticing that the collection is finally starting to balance out. When I come here looking for a book, I find something every time that I'm interested in reading. My kids always come home with at least 5 books. And that thrills me. There are books in this library that I would prefer were not here, because I disagree with them politically or ideologically or ontologically. But somebody else might want those books. Mein Kampf is in this library. Do I want to read that? No. Do I want anybody else to read that? Not really. But also, we have the right to, especially if we're trying to understand history better. We have the right to read. We have the right to have access to materials that challenge our beliefs, that challenge our understanding of the world, and hopefully give us a wider perspective. I want to expose my kids to diverse perspectives. We live here, this is a small community. We don't have a lot of diversity in Montana in general, but it's our home and we don't want to leave. But I want my kids to know what else is out there. And when my kids do end up with something that I'm uncomfortable with for whatever reason, I have to ask myself, where is that discomfort coming from? Is that coming from a place where I don't think that my child specifically has the maturity level or cognitive understanding to identify with that? Or is it coming from a place that maybe I haven't explored why I don't like that topic, and maybe I need to do some self-searching before I get upset with the existence of that material? When my kids do come up with something, and I don't mean just library materials, my kids find things on our TV that I'm like, how did you even get a hold of that? How did you get through my parental controls? And they still find them. So that's an opportunity for us to have a conversation. That's an opportunity for me to talk to them about what our family's values are, and to find out what my kids understand and what they don't. Also, it is my responsibility to monitor my kids' reading, just as it is all parents. It is not the library staff's responsibility to do that. In fact, about a year ago, my son checked out a graphic novel that, he's 13 now, so he was 12. He checked out a graphic novel, and Emily texted me and said, hey, I just want you to know, Lawson checked this out. I tried to discourage him, but he said he thought it would be fine. He brought it home, I looked at it, I had no problem with it. So what Emily, I appreciate that, by the way, Emily, thank you. But what Emily was concerned about as being appropriate for my kid was not the same as what I feel like is appropriate or not for my kid. So it's not the library staff's job to police that. Further, there's no way for the library staff to know the content of every item in the physical collection. If you look at the statistics on the Montana State Library's website, there's a dashboard that tells all kinds of information about our library's statistics. There are more than 47,000 physical items in the entire Chouteau County library system. There is no way for anybody to know what is in all of those materials. Additionally, I did a search on the Montana Shared Catalog for the keyword LGBTQ. 47 items came up. 47. No, you already got to talk. 47 items showed up in a keyword search out of 47,000. I recognize that there are lots of other keywords that I could have searched for. This was just a thing where I was like, I wonder what would happen if I do this. There is not a proliferation of purchasing these materials. Again, it's balancing out the collection. So 10 or 12 years ago, when there was a huge majority of sunshine books, now we're finally getting a little bit of balance. So when you see the books that were purchased in the last couple years, yeah, it's gonna look like a lot of LGBTQ plus materials were purchased because it's an attempt to balance out the collection.
Andy, you're over time.
Sorry, thank you.
I know.
I just want to wrap up really quick, if that's okay. I just want to point out to the board that the Montana State Library's administrative guidelines indicate that under public relations, one of the board's roles is to keep political fences mended. I encourage you to focus on that. And I also encourage you to explore the trustee certification that the Montana State Library offers, because I think that would offer you some support in navigating issues like what's being dealt with right now. And I would like to encourage the community to actually speak to library staff when you have a concern, and to follow the appropriate procedure if you want to challenge a book. There is a procedure. And again, there's no way for the staff to know the content of everything that is in this library. So have a conversation. And remember that the library has to serve a wider audience than what you perceive the audience is. And it's not your job to determine what is safe for my kids. Thank you.
I just like to acknowledge that tempers are starting to run hot. We're in a library, we're all about information. We're gonna have emotions on this issue. If you would like to respond, I
I
respectfully,
just have a quick response and.
but I just respectfully ask that you
No,
don't
I agree, and I'm not,
agitate, yes.
I'm actually not upset at all.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not, and I do come out of complete respect. I just, when you said that, I had the papers here